Pathogens are anything that can cause infections, and infections can be caused by either bacteria or viruses. Viruses are considered non-living because they're not made of cells and they can't reproduce on their own. A virus is made up of nucleic acid. It's either DNA or RNA, depending on the type of virus that we're talking about. And around that DNA or RNA is a protective protein coat, also known as a capsid. Some examples of different types of viruses would be something like HIV, the flu, the common cold, pox like chicken pox, and herpes. These are all considered viruses. Bacteria, on the other hand, they can fall under two different domains, archaeobacteria or eubacteria. And most of the common bacterial infections that we talk about fall under this eubacteria kingdom. And some examples of different bacterial infections could be MRSA, which is a skin bacterial infection, and it's really common in hospitals or gyms. Strep throat, food poisoning, so you have bacteria growing on food, tuberculosis, gonorrhea, and chlamydia. There's a lot of vocabulary that goes into understanding how the immune system works. First is knowing the difference between, or knowing what an antibody is. And an antibody is a protein that's naturally found in your blood that's used to fight different infections. We all have specific antibodies in our body. An antibiotic is a chemical that stops the growth and reproduction of bacteria, and this is a medicine. A vaccine is used to stimulate production of certain antibodies depending on what type of vaccine you're getting. Immunization, this is the use of various vaccines to prevent specific infections. So we all have an immunization record. And there are two types of cells involved in our immune system. Memory cells are cells that remember which antibody worked on which infection. So when that infection occurs again, your body will respond quicker to eliminate that infection because these memory cells already recognize or remember that infection. The second type of cell would be killer cells, and these are white blood cells that will actually eat any infected cells in your body. So they kind of dispose of any infected cells. And there are two types of immunity, active and passive immunity. Active immunity is when the body will produce its own antibodies against an infection, and this can occur naturally. Passive immunity is when antibodies are produced by other animals and then injected into the bloodstream, or this is passed from mother to baby during breastfeeding, and that's why it's important to some mothers to make sure that they're breastfeeding their babies.